Did you know that the average person walks past at least 16 murderers in their lifetime? Now imagine living right next to one. Welcome to my story. A true story. A story where I lived side by side with a monster in plain sight. What would you do if you found out your neighbor, the person you nodded to every day, was capable of murder? It wasn't always this way. At first, everything seemed so normal. I moved into a quiet neighborhood, a place where everyone minded their own business. But there was always something off, something that made me uneasy. My neighbor, let's call him John, seemed polite, a little too polite. Then, the strange things started happening. Late-night noises, things like heavy thudding, a saw running past midnight, and a weird metallic smell that would drift from his garage. It felt wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I convinced myself it was nothing, that I was just being paranoid. John always kept to himself, but he had this eerie way of watching, like he knew something I didn't. There were days when I would catch him staring out of his window for hours, no expression, just watching. My gut screamed at me that something wasn't right, but again I brushed it off. It wasn't until one night when the police showed up that everything made sense. Flashing blue and red lights, people in hazmat suits, and the realization hit like a ton of bricks. John was under arrest, accused of taking lives, so many lives. The news called him a serial killer, the kind that haunted every true crime show I had ever watched. I had been living next to him all this time. The strange sounds, the odd behavior, it all added up. The thought of how close I had been to real danger shook me to my core. In the aftermath, I struggled to process it. The fear, the betrayal. How could I have been so blind? You think you know the people around you, but we never truly do. My sense of safety, of trust, shattered. The nightmares followed for months. Living next to a serial killer taught me something about fear. True fear isn't in the shadows or the horror movies we watch. It's in the unknown. It's the person next door who hides in plain sight. I'll never look at my neighbors the same way again. Stay safe. And remember, you never know what's lurking behind the door next to yours.